bonjour, the chat, le toilette. I know all them fancy French terms like Andrew now. Thomas, make sure they don't let the show go in le toilette while I'm on vacay. Hit that intro.
Yo, what up? It's Deontay Harris with the New Orleans Saints. Y'all Saints Happy Hour podcast? Yeah. No bueno, not good. Y'all Saints takes. It's just awful. And I think it's because the drinks that y'all be drinking be having y'all a little woozy and y'all be forgetting like what team y'all talking about or something. I don't know what it is, but we gotta figure something out because it's bad. Let's regroup, reassess, and just be better, you know? All love.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Saints Happy Hour podcast. We have no Ralph. We have no Kevin. So this is already destined to be the worst Saints Happy Hour show ever.
I beg to differ.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
We still got Thomas in Poland. You know, he's still going to back us up here. We've got me. We've got Dave. So
I think you and I have done like a breaking news podcast quickly together, but I can't remember a big show, like an actual live main show without Ralph. I don't know if this has ever been done.
I think this is a first. I think you're right. And look, there's no, you know, those, what do you call those things? The mini fat heads, they're gone. So at least there's that, right?
Ralph brought them to France. They're up in his hotel room.
Right. He actually posted a couple on the Arc de Triomphe. You couldn't really see it in that.
It was Jameis Winston with a boot.
That's right. So we're live on Twitch, and if you don't follow us on Twitch, remember to subscribe to the Saints Happy Hour podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And please consider becoming an annual patron. You can find our website at saintshappyhour.com and get the best Saints podcast every day. And if you sign up for a year, you get a month for free. So consider doing it. We had a ton of new subscribers this week, Dave. We had big thanks to CD Deuce Man Crush, Michael Moser, Philip Floyd, Durante Williams, Ollie Carter, and Jason Spriggs. They all joined our community this week. And people are excited about the Saints season. Obviously, a lot of OTA news coming right now, but I think people are pumped. So get on that train and join us.
That seems like a lot of people in a short amount of time. Is something?
I'm telling you,
is that high? Is that more than normal? Is something going on? Did we do something?
I feel like, you know, OTAs and the Landry and Matthew stuff. We're going to talk about Jarvis Landry here in a minute, Dave. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. But thanks to Nate Doggington for subbing on Twitch Prime for the first time. And look, with Twitch Prime, I'm like Ralph. I'm already mispronouncing names, so it's like nothing's changed. But you can support the show for free. It actually costs you nothing every month to help us out if you subscribe using Amazon Prime on Twitch. It's super simple. All you have to do is go to twitch.tv/Saints Happy Hour, and all you have to do is type !sub in the chat. That's it. It really is that easy. And Thomas even made a step-by-step instructions video for you. So go ahead and do it, even if you're just listening to the audio version of the show and you're not watching us live. You can still do that. And by the way, it's not a one-time thing, so you can do it every month. And you're basically just giving us Jeff Bezos' money, which is fantastic. All right, Dave. It's just the two of us. I had a fever earlier today. My fever is since abated, but I'm drinking water. I'm hydrating. You know,
you had a fever, so you have.
What are you drinking?
You have COVID. I
had COVID last month, so I think I'm good there.
This could be a different strain, a different variant. I am drinking. I think I might have had this on the show before. I'm drinking Plantation Pineapple Rum. Diggins Fancy. This stuff is delicious. This might be akin to I don't know. It's very sweet, and so it's akin to Ralph's Honey Bourbon, I guess I would say. But it's not like it's okay to drink this though. Like I'm not bringing shame upon my family. When
the way that Ralph does.
Yeah, because pineapple and rum, they go together. Like it's a tiki thing.
Well, I
feel like bourbon purists would probably say honey should be anywhere near a bourbon cask.
All right. Well, how does it rank amongst all your different rums?
I mean, for one, like a sipping rum, like a just on a sipping one, it's up there because it
Now,
goes down smooth. There's no burn. There's no
you
burn.
will never mix your rums, correct? Always straight or on ice.
I won't. I haven't
I
ever
guess
even.
you make your tiki drinks. I guess you'll do.
Yeah, when I make a tiki drink, I mix all kinds of. Some drinks have 3 different rums: white rum, dark rum, 151 overproof rum. But I have never given thought to, when I'm drinking it straight up, to mixing 2 different rums. That might be something. I mean, there might be something to that. I've seen people do that with like IPAs. People have taken 2 IPAs and mixed them, and
That's sickening.
That's a
One
thing.
is bad enough. Why would you want to?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
What are
we
you
got a lot.
drinking?
I'm drinking water, man. I told you.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah.
hydrating.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to get into, including a topic that happened at the 11th hour, and I told Thomas that we need to shoehorn this in because we actually, I don't want to call it breaking news, but the Saints kind of in the offseason, in the doldrums, they kind of threw us an olive branch and gave us a little bit of news. So we're going to address that. But first, we're going to talk about OTAs. And look, OTAs, not a ton to look. The guys aren't playing tackle. There's not a lot to draw from. A lot of the vets aren't even attending, right? You're missing a lot of guys. But there is significant news about Jarvis Landry tearing it up. I think Nick Underhill went as far as to say he has been the most explosive and eye-popping player of all the Saints players
Oh my god.
at these OTAs. So Dave,
Where's my pants just got tighter?
Look at this beautiful photo of number 80 wearing his visor. Now, Dave, does it break your heart that an LSU player might be our best offensive weapon?
Look, once you're wearing the black and gold,
Go
you're
Tigers.
a Saint. I loved Devery Henderson, and he was an LSU guy through and through. So, look, it's once they leave the Baton Rouge, that's it. I can care about them. That's exciting news. That's great. Now tell me. Well, I guess Michael Thomas is Michael Thomas there. Is he? What's he doing?
He is there. He's there. He
So,
is present.
I wanna hear-
He is not practicing.
I want to hear that Michael Thomas is the second most exciting player out there on the field. That's what I want to hear.
I have to admit that it makes
Like,
me
come
a
on.
little bit nervous that they're really talking up Jarvis Landry. They're really talking up Chris Olave. And I almost feel like the Saints are pumping the media with this to brace us for this horrible Michael Thomas news that is around the corner. Maybe that's the pessimist in me. Maybe that's the Saints fan in me that's been hurt repeatedly.
Right.
But I'll admit that thought did cross my mind.
I mean, the Saints needed help. They needed major wide receiver help. They went out and addressed it. They got it this offseason. It's great that they have Landry. It's great that they have Olave. It's great that both of them seem to be doing well. But the bonus of getting all of them was always that Michael Thomas was going to come back and that these guys were going to be your number 2s, your number 3s, not your number 1s and number 2s. And while it's way better to have Jarvis Landry and, we don't know what Chris Olave brings, but we're assuming that Chris Olave is going to be better than somebody like Marquez Callaway or certainly Will Jordan or whatever, or Traquan. But it's like, so if Michael Thomas doesn't come back again for some reason, whatever that reason may be, it sort of takes a little bit of the fun and excitement out of it because we wanted Mike Thomas to come back and then have these guys be the lagniappe, be the icing on the cake to make.
So Dave, it's funny that you mentioned Chris Olave and that we talked about him a little bit here because I want to know where you're at. Give us an update on your Olave Garden visit.
Yeah,
because like this draft, it's coming up, man. Like we're not.
When are we doing it?
I don't know, but like it's not like you have months. It's not like you can keep punting this. Like you got to get on this because part of the trade conditions here of you getting Smoke Monday as your UDFA son is that you've got to go do your part of the deal, and if you don't, then Smoke Monday is available for Kevin.
Then I'm gonna take him.
No, I think I have until right before the start of camp, so I do have maybe a month. An update on this. Okay, I got the tuxedo out. I brought it to the dry cleaners. There's no way I'm gonna go to Olive Garden in a dirty tux. Besides, I think I had a stain on there from the last time I was at Olive Garden, so I had to make sure I got that out before I go this time.
Have you established who your partner who's going to be filming?
No, I haven't. I've had a volunteer. My buddy Patrick has volunteered.
Okay.
We haven't firmed up any plans yet.
So
but
Dylan is out. You're not taking your son.
There's no way.
Okay.
There's no
He
way.
might be the most excited about the actual meal.
I mean, he would be the most excited about the meal. I'm happy to say that. Actually, he might not be, because my son has for a 10-year-old, I think he has a very sophisticated palate. He will eat anything. He'll try anything. His favorite snack, like out of the pantry, is seaweed. You know, he's like totally different than me. I'm eating candy and all that kind of stuff, and his favorite snacks are apples and fruits and broccoli and that kind of stuff. He's my wife's
illegal.
he's my wife's child in that regard.
He sounds a little bougie with his palate.
Yeah, he does have a bougie palate.
I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Dave.
But he would get a kick out of it, and he would think it was ridiculous that his father was wearing a tuxedo to Olive Garden and had to do this little say Olive Garden 3 times bit, but or Olave Garden. But at the same time, I feel like, when he goes to bed that night, he's going to be like, my father is a loser. He is just such a loser. Why did he do this? Like, what is going on?
So I could get Smoke Monday, son.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't you?
What are you? Yeah, and he'd be like, "What are you talking about?" He doesn't know this. He doesn't follow the Saints. He has no idea who Smoke Monday is.
If you're living under a rock,
I'm keeping him out of
it. If you don't know what we're talking about, by the way, every year
he doesn't know his brother.
We do a UDFA draft where we select players, each of us individually, and then we have a competition during the course of the season. With which UDFA son does the best. I've won this competition a couple times. Dave, have you won twice or just once?
Just once, I think.
Just once
with Malcolm Roach. Yeah.
Yep. So, and I believe that's it. I think that we've done it 3 years, so this would be the 4th year. I believe I've won twice, and I think Dave has won once. And so we have a draft preceding it, and basically the draft is whoever did worst the previous year gets the first pick. So the first pick, it's unclear whether it was supposed to be Kevin or Thomas. I think it was Kevin. But anyway, Dave wanted to trade so he could get Smoke Monday. And so we agreed to let Dave make a trade, but the trade is that he has to go to Olive Garden, and he has to wear a tux and eat there and film it. He has to get the unlimited breadsticks, of course, and he has to reference the restaurant, as Olave Garden at 3 different junctures over the course of the night to staff. Right? Have you planned that out, by the way, yet? Were you thinking, like, knock it out right away with the hostess? Like, oh, yes, I've heard of this wonderful establishment, Olave Garden.
I'm going to do that. Yeah, knock out one right off the bat. I'll probably knock off one right when the waiter arrives or waitress arrives. And then honestly, that
sneak another one in there.
Well, then, yeah, but honestly, that frees me up. I can enjoy them. Well, I use the word enjoy. I use that loosely here in this situation, but
we should remind everyone the whole point of this is that it is your least favorite restaurant in the world.
I'll have the meal. And then I'll probably drop the third one in like late at the end as we're leaving. But by the way, Andrew, you don't need to recap. Just because you're hosting today doesn't mean all of our listeners are new. You're just new. You're new. You have a new job tonight. But everybody that's listening, it's the same people
that are new.
They're going to have to just catch on.
We had 7 new signups this week. You know?
I know. We did mention that. We did note that. But like, they're just going to have to catch on. They're going to have to.
It was for my own enjoyment to recap.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I want to make you suffer again.
That's right.
All right.
But Smoke Monday is number 1 on the big board. Number 2 is Daniel Whalen. Okay, interesting. Who put this big board together?
Yeah, I don't know about this big board, by the way. the Irish punter, I don't know.
Hey,
I
Kevin
think
is going to pick the punter, man. That's why he's number 2.
I tried that last year, didn't I?
This is a Thomas trick. He's trying to get Kevin to take the punter. I think that's what's going on. Ralph has really been talking up.
Don't reveal my plan, man.
Lucas Kroll has been Ralph's kind of dark horse. I think Abram Smith is obviously a smart pick. So yeah, there's some good options. Abram Smith is way too low on this leaderboard, on this big board. Way too low.
I don't know anything about these guys. I don't really even know much about Smoke Monday.
Yep. Like his name though.
He doesn't know his son.
No, I do know Smoke Monday is.
Well,
like,
Smoke Monday knows who we
He's
are
supposed to be
because he
drafted.
retweeted your segment, Dave. So he's already a
I
fan.
know. That's right.
He's already a fan of his future father.
I feel like that automatically I don't even need to do this Olive Garden thing. I feel like I automatically just get him because of that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, buddy. You're still gonna have to follow through. All right. So we're gonna talk about Mickey Loomis because I don't know if you saw this, Dave, but Deshaun Watson this week had his 24th allegation of a woman citing, I guess, improper behavior in the massage room. This is number 24 now.
Mhm.
And this is another thing, a feather in the cap, if you will, another notch in the belt of Mickey Loomis dodging a bullet by not making that trade, by not going after Deshaun Watson.
Well-
Dave, explain to me how Mickey's failed moves are always his best moves.
Well, you've got the Rain Man memory, so you'll remember all the different times that it's happened. I don't know. Is System Corner on that? That was.
I mean, I was going to say, between Jarvis Bird and Nick Fairley and Brandon Browner,
yeah.
like where were you on that one, God? But when they drafted Ryan Ramczyk, remember, because Reuben Foster, I think it was the Commanders, formerly it was the 49ers.
49ers,
Yeah. They traded in front of him, and they take
hand
Reuben
up.
Foster.
I would have
settled for Ramczyk.
Yeah, and hand up. I probably wanted Reuben. I think I wanted Reuben Foster at the time.
Of course, you did.
No, there's a bunch of who else?
Go
There's been a bunch of people that they've never. The linebacker Clowney. Didn't they really want Clowney?
Yeah, and he ended up being hurt last year, right?
Yeah, he gets hurt all the time.
I think Clowney kind of had a good year last year.
Well, wait.
Clowney's been all right.
So I know he's okay. So another woman is adding her name to the lawsuit, but
That's right.
How does this have any effect on his current career trajectory here?
Well,
I mean,
so it's interesting. Obviously, when this all went down, he demanded to be traded by the Texans because he didn't really feel supported. He didn't really feel like the Texans.
They were probably the ones that leaked it because he wanted more money.
And so he sat out last year, but that was not an NFL levied suspension.
Right.
So he is still eligible to get a suspension, and we don't really know what's going to go down there.
Right.
But in theory, they could suspend him for a year. And
I honestly would expect nothing less. I would.
And at that point, you're talking about 2 years out of football.
Yeah.
Which, I think
he's going to be fresh legs, man. Fresh legs.
He would come back and be good potentially, but man, when you give up that many picks, that much money, and the guy's not playing a whole year for you,
yeah,
I don't know.
I guess.
And also, how are the Browns going to do without him for that year? Because that first round pick, what if it's a top 10 pick?
Well, I think we've seen what the Browns are capable of over the last 30 years. I think we all know what we can expect from the Browns.
That's a good point. Maybe Deshaun Watson did the Browns a favor by not letting him pick in the top 10 and embarrassing themselves. One way to look at it. They don't have to worry about busting that pick.
But I mean, just regarding the recent news of a new allegation, I mean, every allegation, it's not proven yet, but assuming it is true, that's terrible. But and not to minimize it, but what's one more? I mean, I'm serious. Just to Deshaun Watson, just to as far as his suspension, and that it's not okay, well, you just passed the 20, you get up to 22 allegations of sexual abuse, and we only spend you for a year. But now that you got the 23rd, now it's 2 years. It's not anything like that.
I mean, everyone is horrible, obviously, and everyone is a individual person and victim that has been scarred by his behavior. But I think you're right in the sense that now it's so many that it's past any sort of. It's ballooned up to it's so many that we don't even count anymore, and we know he's pervy, so that's established at this point. But I think the last remaining thing is the NFL waiting for the shoe to drop and these cases to resolve, so they can finalize their decisions on Watson. And I think the best case scenario, Dave, for him is an 8-game suspension. That's best case.
I'm sure it's going to be at least a year.
I think it could be. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a high profile situation. I don't see how it's not going to be anything.
Well, Mickey Loomis, I don't know if you just eat red beans every Monday religiously. I don't know if you go to church on Sundays. I don't know. You must be living right. I don't know what it is you're doing, but please continue to do it, because these moves that you want to make that don't pan out end up being your best as a GM. So happy about that. Speaking of the Saints, Dave, we are
speaking of the Saints. Yes, that's what this podcast is about.
We're going to try to shoehorn this in. Thomas, we found out about this at the last minute, and he's like, Andrew, come on, you can't do this to me. I can't find the highlights.
It's 3 a.m. in Poland.
Andre George.
Thomas, by the way, Ralph said that you're a madman. He got up to listen to a little bit of the show. I don't know if he's in the Discord, by the way. I haven't been looking.
He probably is.
He should be on Twitch live right now.
He should be. He should be. I hear people. I'm reading the chat right now, and someone said Andrew is filling in quite accurately for Ralph. I'm assuming that's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, you forgot to thank Senator Hudat for gifting a Twitch.
Oh yes, sorry. Yes, thank you, Santa Hudat. Good stuff. Yep, I blew that one. Ralph would have remembered that, by the way.
But he would have interrupted me in the middle of a cogent, well-reasoned thought.
Sounds half right.
As if the annoying soundbite isn't annoying enough. Then behind that, you've got Ralph, who has to point it out and let the listening audience also know that somebody subscribed. All while I'm telling you how bringing pressure on the backside is really the weakness of the Saints defense in the Week 13 game against the Patriots.
Well, if you haven't subscribed yet, again, it's really easy. All you have to do is type, what is it, Thomas? Exclamation point sub.
Yeah.
Exclamation point sub. So you should do it before the end of the show if you haven't already, because you'd be testing me out and seeing if I screw up again. So you guys should test me. Try it out. What I tried to shoehorn in, Dave, was that the Saints have made it official. They have inducted 3 new Hall of Fame.
I didn't see this.
Into the Saints Hall of Fame.
Reggie,
so you haven't
Bush.
seen this. You don't know the players.
I see it now.
Okay, so Reggie Bush, obviously, Jari Evans, and the third one is R.I.P. Craig Ironhead Hayward. What are your thoughts on these 3 guys getting in?
I never saw Craig Ironhead Hayward play, so I can't wax philosophic on him, but I certainly know the name. It sounds like he's deserving to be there. Reggie, of course. I love to see that. I saw a homeless guy out on the street today wearing an old Reggie Bush jersey.
But how do you know it wasn't a Raphael Bush jersey?
I don't. I can neither confirm nor deny that. But I'm going to assume that it was a Reggie Bush jersey, and I'll be damned if if that didn't take me back for a minute. And I was thinking about just all those exciting. There was like this excitement every time Reggie. Yeah, it kind of appropriate. This was appropriate.
We're gonna get to the Kevin Love update.
There
sent me a text message.
But but there were so many times I remember being in the Superdome. And the other team's going to punt it off or whatever, or just anytime the ball was going to get into Reggie's hands, like you never knew what was going to happen with it. And, I also remember, of course, there was always the debates. Well, he runs out of bounds or he never runs straight or blah, blah, blah. And there was a little bit of that, but you cannot deny that he also did some pretty great
he was awesome.
Electric things in the NHL. And then Jari Evans, obviously.
Wait, did you just say the NHL?
I don't think so, but I could have.
I'm pretty sure, yes. Thomas
Ralph can't say anyone's name right.
I've got
Dave
the NHL. I've got NHL playoffs on the brain. The Rangers. The Rangers are winning. They're leading their series. I'm not happy.
Go Tigers.
No. That's not how that works.
Reggie Bush was awesome, and when I go back and think about 2006 with him, it's amazing to me how that first year people were excited about Breeze, kind of, sorta, but it was all Reggie. All the hype was like when you went in the Dome that first year in 2006, there were very few 9 Breeze jerseys. The 9 Breeze jerseys kind of took the Superdome by storm, I would say, no pun intended, in like 2008, 2009, 2010, like that. That's when it really crossed over. But in 2006, 2007, Reggie Bush jerseys were by far the most represented inside the stadium. I mean, even close.
When they came to New Orleans, both of them, Drew Brees, you didn't know what you were getting. He was an X factor. He was coming off the shoulder surgery. Reggie Bush, you knew exactly what you were getting. You saw the highlights, the USC highlights. You couldn't believe that Texas passed on him. First of all, was that also like the last year where you knew who was going to be drafted first, like before the draft?
I mean, each year is different. I think this.
I know, but I don't.
Trevor Lawrence, everyone knew he was going first.
Yeah, but it was never like official. Like the year Reggie Bush was drafted, like before the draft, it was didn't the Texans like officially announce they were taking Mario Williams, didn't they?
Yeah, I feel like,
and I don't think that's ever been
an hour before it happened. We got clued in that that's what was going to happen.
Oh, I thought this. I thought this was like days in advance.
Maybe
I remember
so.
it.
Maybe so.
I could be wrong. This could be like the Mandela.
We're getting Reggie Bush. That's crazy. But yeah, no. Look, Reggie. I think in some ways you would say that Reggie didn't live up to the hype, of being that second overall pick for the Saints. But how could he? I think anything short of being Barry Sanders, and he wasn't going to live up to the hype. But Reggie was a good player in his own right for the Saints. He was explosive. He was a weapon that forced you to account for him, which I think created opportunities for other players. But I almost think Reggie could have been better with the Saints than he was. But there's no denying the hype, the excitement, and just the timing of it all. For him to come to the Saints when he did, such an exciting player, it really was. It's great to see him in there, and he was just an all-around good dude. I remember meeting him as a rookie. Meeting him at Republic of all places.
No, not of all places. That sounds just about right.
Yeah. And he was drinking. He was drinking a White Russian, and I offered to buy him a drink. It was so awkward. I remember going up to him and being like, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" And he just he looks at his drink and it's like completely full, and he's like, he's like, I would take one, but like I got a drink. He's like, you might have to wait a while. It's but I talked to him for a while. He was super nice, super friendly. Yeah, no, Jari Evans, that one to me is the one that probably makes the most sense. He, of these three, by far the most accomplished. He wasn't the hype because he was a guard, not sexy, but Jari Evans is by far the best player, and he's a first ballot and maybe the best. I mean, I don't think it's a maybe. He's the best guard in Saints history.
He was, he was an anchor for that offensive line for all those years when they were so damn good. I have two. When I think of Reggie Bush, though, I have two totally random memories that come to my mind. One is one is the fact that when the Saints won the Super Bowl, he was dating Kim Kardashian. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Because he was there before Pete Davidson, before Kanye. There was Reggie. All right, you remember that?
He wasn't before Ray J, though.
No, I don't believe he was. You
need to shoot your dick off.
But so I always remember. I remember being in Miami at the Super Bowl and seeing like Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner like back in the tunnel area or whatever outside the locker room. But my second memory is his 2006, his what do I want to say? His not freshman year, his rookie year. Obviously there was all this hype. He still hadn't gotten his first touchdown yet. Everybody was waiting. He was returning punts. Every time there was a punt that he was out there returning, it got exciting. And I think it was week 3, week 4, maybe even week 5. I think we were playing the Buccaneers at home, and he was on punt return, and he finally broke one loose, and that was his first touchdown, and the place went freaking crazy. And I think
Was
he
that
did it
the
a
one-
second
was
time in that
was
game.
the one where he was kind of like raising his hands at the crowd, letting everyone know to chant his name, and like before the punt
Yeah.
return, the whole
Yes.
stadium is going Reggie,
Yeah,
Reggie,
yeah.
and
And
like you could feel that he was
Yes.
going to do this again, and then he did it.
He did it a second time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But what I remember, my memory, what my biggest takeaway from that night, though, and I think it's kind of telling, was everybody was so excited that even the ball guy, the guy who works, he doesn't work for the league. He's like a volunteer or whatever, but he's on the sidelines, and he's the guy that carries all the extra footballs and hands it to the refs, and also the guy that holds the down marker or whatever.
Yeah.
They were caught in a picture. They were celebrating as Reggie was returning that first punt return for a touchdown. They're supposed to be neutral. They're working technically for the NFL, but they're local guys and they're technically Saints fans. And they were caught and they got in trouble. And I think they got like fined, or the Saints got fined because these guys were celebrating because they were so freaking excited. That sums up the excitement. Look this up. I remember this. I remember this for a fact. I remember the picture. One of them was that short little guy who wears glasses. He's still there. He still does the same job. I see him every single game on the sideline.
All the shit that you could remember.
Yes, I know. Isn't that
Reggie
crazy?
Bush story?
Yes, that's my
Rain
Reggie
Man.
Bush story. Yeah, that is my Reggie Bush story. But that sums up just the excitement that everybody had. Like, everybody was freaking out. They were waiting for this first touchdown, and it was kind of like the floodgates finally opened, and he got tons of touchdowns. I remember the Minnesota game? Didn't he have 2 punt return in that game as well? And we lost that game because of what's his face, the kicker, Grammatic. Shut up.
Grammatic. Yeah. I remember obviously 2009, the bring the wood game where he went off against the Cardinals and probably had the best game of his career in that playoff game against the Cardinals. And then also when Gary Hartley made the kick against the Vikings, if you watch the Saints DVD, the video, I love that he's running around and he runs into Gumbo. Like, he's celebrating. He's like, yeah. And then he just like accidentally runs into Gumbo, who is also celebrating, and just like they don't lock eyes or whatever. And he just completely runs him over. He ragdolls Gumbo, who just like obviously was a human being about the size of Reggie. And Reggie just bounces off him and continues running and celebrating. Doesn't even realize he's run over the mascot. And the mascot falls to the ground. It was terrific. But we should, I'd be remiss in not quickly talking about Craig Ironhead Hayward as well. He was a battering ram. His running style, I remember playing with him, first of all, in Super Tecmo Bowl, and I would love to run the ball with him in that game because he had a tremendous amount of hit power. And so, like, if you ran the ball with Ironhead, you couldn't really tackle him. Like, dudes would just bounce off him. And so you could get like a 50-yard run and like you'd hit like 7 dudes and they'd all just bounce off him because of his hit power on that game. So he was a terrific runner on that game to have, but that's kind of how he played in real life. He was very, very difficult to tackle, but he had a very odd, like, he was supposed to be a fullback. There goes Dave to the bathroom. Right. Someone said this in the chat earlier, by the way, when you left the room just now.
I literally just went out to the other room. And
you
right
left, but like someone in the chat was saying,
I know,
this, like,
I can't.
Dave can't leave today.
No, I know, I can't.
You don't have this luxury.
I know, I got to be your wingman.
Yeah, but so he kind of had a fullback body, so he looked like he should be more of like a blocker, right? Like a Mike Carney lead blocker. But he was absolutely a runner. He was a tailback. He was fast. He could catch. He kind of did it all, and he was very tough to tackle. And he was a very exciting player to watch.
What years was this? What years was this?
This was like in the Dalton Hilliard era, so like late 80s, early 90s. And he played for Mora, and so he was on those teams that would make the playoffs but couldn't win those games. Craig Hayward, by the way, is another one of those Morton Anderson, Bobby Hebert, Joe Horn, Brett Maxey, the dreaded defector to the Falcons. Not only did he defect, but was very good for the Falcons. I think he probably had his best year of his career with the Falcons, and he tore up the Saints. He tore them up pretty good when he played for them. But he was great for the Saints, and obviously his son, he passed away. I remember when he passed away, I think he had a tumor in his head, ironically enough, but he passed away, and I remember him saying that, he was going in for the surgery and that he was really afraid of death. And it was kind of like a really vulnerable moment for a guy that felt kind of indestructible in his career. And things didn't go well with the surgery, and he did pass away. But his son, obviously, Cameron Hayward, who is with the Steelers now, I really wanted the Saints to draft him when he was in the draft, but he's having a tremendous career, and he goes to the Pro Bowl. And so there is Hayward lineage that continues in the NFL.
I had no idea that was his son.
That's his son. Yep. All right, let's move on to the Kevin Love update. I've got a text here, so let me pull this up. Let me see what Kevin's got for us today.
This is great. This is new to me too. This is all breaking
All right,
news.
here we go. Breaking news. You want to play the siren before we get into it? By the way, guys, before I get into this Kevin Love update, make sure you get your Smoke Monday t-shirt. Your Smoke Monday
every day.
Yep. They're it's what is it?
Monday every day.
What is it? $12 a month? Is that where they got to be?
Yep.
$12 a month, and you get your first
Annual.
month free, right? But if you sign up for annual, you get a month for free, and you get your Smoke Monday everyday t-shirt. You're gonna want that. Dave is gonna want you to have
Monday
that so he
every
can
day.
celebrate with you all the plays that Smoke Monday makes this season when he's his UDFA son, assuming he goes to Olave Garden, which he has yet to do. So it could be Kevin's son. But speaking of Kevin, this is the Love update. All right. No dates this past week, and no dates lined up thus far for the coming week. I am talking with a couple of ladies and seeing where the conversation goes with each. One is in the medical field, freaking of course, ICU, and very busy because her work is changing, but seems very enthusiastic in getting together when that's done. She loves that I love dogs. The other one that I talk with, he talks with her more often, and he said she's handy. I don't know if that's euphemism or something else, but she's handy, loves the ocean, values intelligence. That might be a strike for Kevin.
Wait, what kind of handy are we talking about?
Yeah. And well, what's her bend quotient? How bendy is she?
Just
and
one hand.
he said she's into meditation. So he says we'll see what happens if and when I meet them.
Free
And he
spirit.
said, thus concludes the Kevin Love update. So there you go.
Meditation. Does she drive a Subaru Outback?
You know, I gotta say that summary is not. It doesn't sound too good for Kevin right now.
Yeah.
It's dark. He's back in the dark period.
The
shoot your dick off.
horizon dark.
Yeah, it's not good. No bueno. As Deontay Hardy would say, no bueno.
A doctor, huh? In the ICU.
All right. Yeah, a doc.
Wait,
I know.
she
Of
loves-
course, she's a medical person.
Well, it's interesting how he phrased that. She loves that he loves dogs, but does she love dogs? Like, I don't. Does that mean?
I know. There's a little bit of like.
Does that mean she loves dogs, or she doesn't? She doesn't give a shit about dogs, but she just thinks it's adorable that Kevin loves dogs. They're not for me. But
Yeah,
I'm glad you've got them. I'm glad you have
We've
dogs.
got to seek clarity on that. Next time
that was an
Kevin's on.
interesting, weird. Like, I feel like when you just say we both really love dogs, isn't that how you would just phrase that? A normal person, isn't that
A
what
normal person would say that, yeah. And, you know, I got to say, Kevin, he said he was going to be on the show. He said he was going to step up and be there for us with Ralph missing.
Yeah.
And we get a text from him yesterday that someone had to sub out, and now he's working tonight. So, you know, thanks a lot, Kevin.
And that's a BS. The only acceptable excuse for missing the podcast now is that you're going on a date.
Which he was not. Right.
No, he was not. No.
Right. Yep.
So this is
All
an
right.
unexcused absence.
That's correct. Thomas, you got some Saints trivia for us?
Oh, hey now.
I do. Trivia sponsored by
This is really rolling along very
the
quickly.
legend himself, Budrich. But I'm afraid, Andrew, you are alone on this one
Like it should. Yeah.
tonight.
Oh,
The question for the trivia is: who was the Saints' very first win against?
So wait, they didn't win their first game when they returned that kick for a touchdown?
They did not. That was against the Rams, and I believe their first win was against the Eagles.
Sure,
was
let's
later
lock
that
in.
season.
Let's lock that in.
Already?
I believe.
I was doing, I was watching Don't Forget the Lyrics earlier. I was crushing it on Don't Forget the Lyrics, but this is not my...
The John Gilliam kick return
right.
was against the Rams, correct?
I
First
don't know.
game.
I don't know.
I think the first game was against the Rams. And, by the way, I actually saw a guy this weekend. I was in Baton Rouge over this past week.
Oh.
And I met a guy that told me that he met John Gillian. And he was
making it rain. He was making it
Thank
rain.
you. Thank you, Matt. Mike Bagger for your subscription.
Nice timing, man.
Good timing. I caught it this time. You didn't trip me up. But so anyway, he said he talked to John Gilliam. He met him years ago, and basically John Gilliam was like, "Yeah, my whole life is talking to Saints fans about running back that kickoff." Like,
well,
it must be like Tom Dempsey making the kick. But
did he do anything else noteworthy?
No, absolutely not.
Then sorry.
Not
just be
even
happy
remotely.
you got that one thing.
No, I think he was happy, but he was just kind of joking that like,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
final answer, Eagles. I think somebody just confirmed in the chat that.
Oh, you look at the chat. You cheated, Andrew.
I don't know.
Well, no, I said Eagles when you first asked the question. I said Eagles.
The silhouette looks like Jimmy Graham.
It kind of does.
Maybe it is.
I am curious to see what the silhouette is.
Oh. Jalen Hurts. From when he probably from when he beat the ever-loving shit out of the Saints
multiple times.
Jesus.
As long as he's
his first like game as a starter.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Wasn't that his first game?
As long as he's the quarterback of the Eagles, we're never beating him again. So.
Oh my God, that game.
Yeah, the Eagles were the first Saints win, believe it or not.
Yeah, and we've got a photo of the ticket from this game from Budrich. By the way,
was Budrich there at the game?
That.
Look at that.
This would have been before his time. This was in 1967.
Is that from Google or is that really something that Budrich owns? That's great.
I forgot, honestly. Yeah. Budrich in the
Tulane
chat.
Stadium. Love to see it. Tulane Stadium.
Budrich in the chat.
I believe Budrich. I think I saw this on social media, and I think his dad had this. I think Alan.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. I think he either had it in some box that was filed away, or someone bought it for him and brought it to him. I forget the story, but yeah. Anyway, he just confirmed it in the chat that his dad got that. So
confirmed.
Cool. Well, yeah.
Any hotline? We got any messages in the hotline?
The hotline, I gotta say, is a real disappointment.
That's on you, Dave.
We need to get on that. That's on you, Dave. Dave, do you have the phone number? Do you want to tell everyone what number to call so they can?
No. Well, actually, I can pull it up.
I think you should call the hotline and badger Dave. Tell him to go to Olave Garden and execute this properly. Otherwise, he's not getting Smoke Monday. I think you should heckle him.
The hotline number is 210-595-0818. That is 210-595-0818. I don't have I hadn't planned this out, but if I can think right now of a topic to get people to call in, I like silly topics. So call in and tell us. Give me a minute. Give me 1 minute. You talk, Andrew, while I think about a good question for people.
Okay, you think about that, but when you guys call, like this is your chance to be on the show. We'll play the funny.
We will play you. Trust me.
We will play. We will play the rants. We always do, and so you can call and just make it a 10-second thing where you insult us. You can go on a 30-minute rant, and we'll probably clip it and not play that whole part, but yeah, no, it's cool. We love it, and you should do it. So anyway, Dave,
call and tell us. Call and tell us, since we're in the off season here, and you know what? At the start, we were talking about wide receivers. Call and tell us who you think is going to be the Saints' top wide receiver this season. Who's it going to be?
Well, we all know that's Jarvis Landry.
No, we don't. We know that's little Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in LSU news, by the way, I was watching LSU baseball, and there was a sickening ending to their season today.
Sick
in Hattiesburg.
Yeah, I was really sad to hear that. I was really, really upset.
I bet you were torn up.
Oh yeah, I'm a mess over here about that.
I'll remember this. I'll remember this when the New York Rangers They're on TV. Wait, are you
Tulane,
Islanders?
if they don't win
I thought they
9
were Islanders.
games, they should run roughshod through that conference.
Why is that a soundbite? What the fuck?
Amazing.
Why is
They won like 1 or 2
You
games early in the
requested it. You
season.
requested that soundbite, man.
That's so typical of Ralph.
Why did you?
That soundbite is quintessential Ralph. Like Tulane goes 1-0. You know, they win 1 freaking game. He's like, if they don't win 9 games this year, and they win like 3.
I probably requested it because I needed to take Ralph to school, but like, why did you keep it? Why do you? How many do you have? Do you have a never-ending? Can we have infinity sound bites? How big is this board? Oh my god, this is crazy.
Ralph is such a prisoner of the moment. I bet that baguettes and escargot are his new favorite food.
By the way, if you're listening only, the intro from Ralph was a video that he sent us, and he's standing in front of, was that the Arc de Triomphe? Correct me. Okay, correct. I don't know. I'm not the one who hosted a party at the Palace of Versailles. Yeah, so Ralph of course, he filmed it in vertical mode, like a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
I told you to film it in horizontal.
You know,
better this way. It's
one
better
of the first things my kids learned, as they always want to be on my phones, is that even my 7-year-old would know when she takes a video, she instinctively rotates the phone. Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus, there it is. There it is. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at this shirt. He is wearing a striped shirt. He bought that in Paris, didn't he?
Look
to
at
blend
those
in.
nipples,
He
man.
probably thought he was blending in.
Yeah, he is looking a little Sean Payton-y.
His head fits perfectly under the Arc de Triomphe.
His man boobs are looking a little Sean Payton-y in this video, I gotta say.
Yeah. Now wait, I'm looking in the background on the Arc de Triomphe carved in there. Is that Jameis Winston in a boot? Is that it right there?
That's the Jameis Winston.
And then wait, no. I think, and then above that carved, I think that's the guy that prevents soft tissue injuries by 50%. I think that's him.
It's perfect that they're together.
Yeah. No, I think that's both of them on the Arc de Triomphe.
October Risk in the chat mentioned how we used to talk about Peyton Turner, and Ralph would call him Peyton Turner when he played against Tulane. When he played the footage that we would look of Peyton Turner playing against Tulane, Ralph described it as Godzilla in Tokyo.
I don't want. Probably pretty accurate.
We do need that. We do need that soundbite, Thomas. If you can find that.
Probably pretty accurate. Let's see. Zoom in.
Okay,
look.
Senator
Look at this woman. What does the woman behind him do? It looks like that woman behind him is squatting on something. Oh my god, what is going on? I don't know what's going on.
Can we get a zoom in on the nipples?
Enhance.
Enhance the nipples.
Senator Hudat says that his nipples aren't out there enough for a Sean Payton impression. Moves are on point though.
This is your finest work, Thomas. Oh, that's it right there. No, that's it right there. Pause it right there. It looks.
Jesus
for you
Christ.
audio only people, you are really, really.
Ralph is gonna fire me, guys.
This is your freaking Mona Lisa.
Ralph is trying to block it with his bad hand.
Stop it right there.
He's trying to block it with his bad hand.
Jesus.
I wish I had like one of those John Madden like telestrator things where I can circle shit and draw lines.
Like John Madden.
What you got here? You got
that. If I put that on a shirt, how many can I sell?
All right, it's question time. Let's move on. You got some questions for us, Thomas?
Oh, I should have.
That's the clip of the year, by the way.
Oh my
Make sure you clip that, people.
Wow. Oh, finger guns.
Oh, right. All right. Almost forgot that.
All right, what do we got?
Waiting
Next
for
question.
the cue, Andrew.
Next question.
Oh, next question.
Andrew forgot he's the host tonight.
Wait, what?
Andrew's doing a great job, by the way.
Okay, first question from Saints Rabbit. We got extra questions for tonight. Who would you all be most excited about blowing up in year one with the Saints? Any new player?
Which player would I be most excited about blowing in 1 year on the Saints?
It was Monday, obviously.
I've heard, according to Mike Westhoff, I've heard great things about Taysom Hill.
He blew
So
up many
the question
times,
is,
right?
which player would I want to blow up this season?
Which player would you be most excited about blowing in 1 year,
Blowing up.
in year one with the Saints?
I mean, it's got to be Olave Garden.
You
Because
gotta-
I feel like if Chris Olave, let's say he blows up, let's say he's, he has a Jordan. Let's say he has a.
Let's say you blow Chris Olave's breadstick.
Garden.
Right. Well, I was just thinking if he has like a Jamar Chase or I almost called him Jordan Jefferson or Justin Jefferson type of year, where he just 1,500 yards, and it's clear the Saints have got one of the best receivers in the league. That by extension means Jameis is going to be good. He's going to have an explosive playmaker, and then there's less pressure on Michael Thomas to get back to where he was or Jarvis Landry to be amazing. Like they can just be good. You know what I mean? So I would love to see Olave personally.
Olave.
Are you good with that answer, Dave? Or you want to?
Sure, that sounds good. Let's lock that in. Yeah.
What next?
There you go.
Locked in.
Lock that answer in.
Okay, next question. It's a pretty long one, but a good one. From LD. With Ralph wreaking havoc in Paris.
By the way, we should just clarify Ralph wreaking havoc in Paris means showing all the Parisians his nipples and frightening them back into their homes.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Go ahead. Moving on with the question.
Okay, so with Ralph wreaking havoc in Paris, who would be the first person he calls to bail him out of a French jail? Yeah. A. Juge. B. Kevin. C. Dave. D. Thomas. And follow-up question, who would hang up on his collect call?
Well, I speak French fluently, so obviously the answer is me. I would be the only one who would be able to talk the policeman maybe pas dire le nom de quelqu'un correctement. There you go. So, he would need my ability to talk the talk in that language. But Thomas being in Poland is probably the closest in proximity.
So he has to pay less and collect call charges.
Most likely to hang up is definitely Dave.
Remember that, kids? Remember collect call charges? I'm glad we asked this question. I actually answered this question in the chat, and
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, and collect calling. I know we don't even know how old you are, so I have no idea what references you get and what
15.
references you don't get.
By the way, I was trying to get Thomas to reveal his face for the first time on the show. I was like, "Look, we only have 2. You want to be the third guy?
We need more patience for that, man."
Oh man! Oh! Can we do that? Can we use you? Can we use you as motivation to get more patrons? Can we do like a face reveal, a Thomas face reveal, if we get a certain amount of people?
Only Ralph can use me, man, and his man boobs.
All right. Well, he's busy blowing a first-year Saints player, so
yeah. Lucas Krull.
Anyway, the show's great. I don't think we need Ralph anymore. Fuck him.
We don't need him.
Knew you were gonna say that.
Can we like just change the passwords and just lock him out of everything?
I know all the passwords, no problem.
I bet you do. I bet we can easily make this happen. Anyway, back to the original question about who we would call. I answered this question already, and I went off script. My answer was E, and that was Stephen Juge. That's Andrew's father.
Oh, yeah, that's a better answer. Yeah.
That is the answer. That is not the better answer. It's the correct answer. All other answers are wrong. And I tagged him on Discord because he's in our Discord, and he was like, "Oh, I think he said, I know the president or something, and I'll just get you out. It's fine." And and I was like, "See, I told you he's the guy to call."
If Ralph gets arrested in France, what's the reason?
What did he indecent do exposure of his nipples?
We just saw the reason, man. What do you mean? We just saw the reason.
They have nude beaches there. They probably encouraged him to do that.
Andrew, how do you say indecent exposure in French?
Indecent would be indecent exposure. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like you don't have the French don't have a term for that because y'all just walk
And
around
the
naked.
sound
Right, right.
There's
There's
no such thing as indecent exposure.
They don't
It's
even have
just
to shave their
exposure.
armpits. The
It's
women
just
don't even-
exposure in
Yeah,
French.
yeah, exactly. All exposure is assumed decent.
That's right. That's right. You're innocent until proven guilty, and you're never proven guilty.
Thomas, what next?
Okay, next question.
This show. This is the
Next
best part of the
question
show
from
right
next question from
here.
Preston.
Did we win the Louisiana Sports Writers Best
Undecided.
Podcast yet?
Not figured out yet. But Thomas, do you know where we rank? Do you know where we rank in Malta, Thomas?
Good question. Probably not high enough.
Yeah.
And lower than in Poland.
All right. Where would you rank the Saints O-line among all teams? That's from Preston. You can, Andrew. Andrew, you're on this. What do I know?
I don't know.
I barely know the Saints O-line, and then you expect me to know 31 other teams' offensive lines? That's ridiculous.
I think the biggest question is who's starting at left tackle? Is it Penning or Hurst? And I'm assuming the answer is going to be Penning, and I really don't know what to expect then. It's like, how good is he going to be? And so then that opens up Hurst, I think, to compete with Ruiz at right guard. And we want Ruiz to win that battle, because that means Ruiz is improving and he's getting better to a point where I think that's the ideal scenario, is that Penning and Ruiz are good enough and consistent enough. And then I think it could potentially be really good. I think there's also the potential, if Ruiz continues to suck and Penning's not there yet, where Hurst is your left tackle and Ruiz is your right guard. And I think it has the potential to be pretty brutal. So the offensive line for the Saints is interesting in that I think its ceiling is top 10. I won't say top 5 because I don't think it's that good, even though I think McCoy and Ramczyk are obviously studs. Pete, injury history, question marks about him. So I do think their ceiling is top 10, but I also think they can be a bottom 10 offensive line. I don't know that they'll be that bad, but mediocre. So let's say like between 20 and 25th in the league. So I think there's a really wide range that they could fall in. There's a lot of unknowns this year.
What he said.
All right, Thomas, what next?
Okay, next question from Blake Zicken, and he asks, oh man, this is a interesting question.
Doozy.
With the Johnny Depp / Amber Heard trial over, which one of the show hosts is the most likely to shit the bed?
This is where we need Kevin. This is a softball.
We're talking. I loosely followed the trial, and I don't know what the whole.
Did you get spammed on social media with clips of it constantly?
I'm on Reddit a lot. I'm on Reddit all the time, and so a lot of it was on Reddit, on a regular basis. So I kind of loosely followed it. I know there was something about shit on the bed, but I don't know what the story behind it was. I don't know whose it was. I don't know.
She got mad at him
and threw shit on the bed like a monkey.
Yeah, like took a dump where he sleeps.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's. Geez.
That sounds familiar to Dave.
Yeah. It's like, of course you did that. He's like, that sounds like a Hail Mary in a football game. Happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer this question.
Big Papa West says Amber Heard's lawyer loosely followed the trial.
Yeah, right. I feel like everybody else would say me because it's like a running joke that I go to even though I don't go to the bathroom, then I go to the bathroom. But so I guess I'm volunteering myself as tribute.
You know what's weird about this trial is I feel like everyone was behind Johnny, and I don't know, like they both kind of seem like fuck ups to me.
No, like, I think the final takeaway from this whole thing by most normal people is like they both lost. Like this was a losing situation for both of them.
Yeah,
like nobody wins in this situation. I mean, maybe it's kind of an illustrator that women can also abuse men physically, mentally, or whatever. It's not just a male-female thing. But they both look like losers.
Well, yeah, but Big Papa West makes a good point in the chat. He says only one of those fuck ups was Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, Johnny won 10 million. I don't know the numbers, but I mean,
saying.
yeah, he won. I mean, technically, he, by the letter of the law, he quote unquote won. Yes.
He won't be seeing that money. She'll be filing for bankruptcy. He'll never see it.
Any golf fans? Phil Mickelson is joining this. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Do you pronounce it live or live, or is just LIV? This new golf tour that plays like in 5 continents. They play like 1 or 2 tournaments in Saudi Arabia, and I think some of it's backed by
Saudi money.
Yeah, Middle East money.
Oil.
And Phil Mickelson just announced he's going over there.
I bet
Tiger Woods turned down high 9 figures.
You know,
high 9 figures. That's almost $1 billion.
You know John Isner, who was on the show?
Yeah.
Tennis player.
Yeah.
He told me once that there was some Arab sheikh out in, I think it was Saudi Arabia, maybe it was Qatar, but there was some Arab sheikh that basically just decided, I want to host my own tennis tournament. And Isner said that he basically paid everyone like $1 million, and it was like a tournament of like 12 players, and it was like Federer, he got like 12 guys, and like they were all in the top 25, right? He got like a murderer's row of like the top tennis players,
right?
And it was like for those guys to play in front of him and his buddies. He was like 30 people were in the crowd, and I was like, so was that awful? Did you hate it? And he was like, no, it's freaking amazing. Like I made $1 million, and like, we like played tennis in front of these dudes, and like they just had a good time. And then we went home, and like they fed us like kings, and all that. And so, yeah,
wow,
they shell out money, man.
Shout out to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I wonder how we rank.
Hopefully that story ups our ranking in Saudi Arabia.
Are we trying? Yeah, we're trying to gain listeners. Are there a lot of Saints fans in Saudi Arabia?
Look, Malta, Poland, Saudi Arabia, Korea, Mina Kimes. The Mina Kimes show is still giving us hits in South Korea,
to Uganda.
I'm not above any of it.
At this point, I'm concerned that that's just people that are pleasuring themselves to the sound of her voice or something like that. There's no way. It's just like freaks. It's just like it's just one guy in his basement who's a Saints fan and also like a Mina Kimes fan, and also is just a weirdo. And he's just.
I was trying to workshop like a Deshaun Watson joke in there, and I was like, no,
you should probably just not.
Bad idea.
Yeah, just don't do that. Yeah, just
Thomas,
keep your mouth shut.
Okay, next question from Dan Checkaway, serious one this time, and he asks, if you can have one but not the other at this point, sign Sue or Quan?
Quan. I'll take Quan. I like
Go
Quan.
Tigers.
I would go Sue.
How old is he?
35.
I don't know. Kind of old.
I'm saying this is like the biggest LSU homer ever.
Dave hates defensive tackles, man.
No, I don't hate defensive tackles. I loved Nick Fairley.
Yeah, I know.
Love Nick Fairley. He didn't love me back. Didn't
That's
listen
what I
to me.
said.
Oh no, actually the Saints didn't listen to me. Nick
I
Fairley
thought you
did.
hated Nick Fairley.
No, I hated the Saints for signing him to a new contract.
Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Dave still has PTSD after Nick Fairley.
No, Nick Fairley got paid. Good for him. The Saints don't need more money. They're all right.
No, so I think the answer to this is Sue, because
I don't know.
Sue starts next to Onyemata. He immediately becomes a starter and one of their best defensive tackles.
Quan's not a quote-unquote starter. I know they like to they do 4-3. Maybe they don't always have 3 linebackers, but like Quan's not. He's not out there.
I just think Pete Werner's probably assumed that role.
Really? Pete Werner?
Yep.
Pete Werner pretty good, man.
They love him, and they're counting on him this year. I think that's his job now.
All right.
I think Dave is just really anti-Sue because it could mean that Malcolm Roach doesn't make the team. I think that's really what's going on.
Yeah, give Roach a chance. All we are saying.
Stop it.
Roach a chance.
Get some help.
Did you find it disturbing that when CD Deuce went around, this was like earlier in the season last year, when he was going around the locker room asking everyone who's the last guy you would want your daughter to date?
Yes.
And like half the roster said Roach.
Yeah.
More than half the roster.
Yeah. No, that was a little concerning.
There's some fatherhood moments
That's not.
that are going to need to happen between you and him, Dave.
Yeah, no, that's not what you want to hear. That's not what you want to hear from a bunch of people. Yeah, no. I can't say I was happy about that.
Thomas, what's next?
Okay, last question of the show from Saints Rabbit. He asks,
Limpgate.
with Limpgate now in full swing, what is the next gate to hit the Saints? Wrong answers only.
I wish I had seen this earlier, then I could have.
What's like the
come up with
Camaro?
something
Like,
clever.
would we call that like Punch Gate, Vegas Gate?
Oh yeah.
What's the Camaro situation?
Wrong answers only.
Yeah.
Wrong
answers only.
answers.
Yeah.
Third gate.
Grip strength, great gate.
That's right. Yeah, Nipplegate. We got Nipplegate
Ralph's
going on right
nipple
now.
gate.
Yeah, we got Nipplegate happening as we speak.
Nipplegate is already in full swing, man.
Nipplegate is, yes, in full effect.
I feel like there could be a medical gate with Kevin's love life.
Technically, that doesn't count, though. It's not the Saints.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. What is my legitimate answer to this question is like, what does Dennis Allen like to do? What are his hobbies? What are his interests? Like, what could he
Ozman64 says handy gate.
Yeah, that's right. Handy. What were we talking about? Who was handy? Oh, who had a handy girlfriend?
That was Kevin. He said one of his prospects.
That's right. It was handy.
It's handy.
That's right. It's handy gate. We got a handy gate. But no, like what could potentially be Dennis Allen's weak spots? What are his vices? We don't know much about Dennis Allen.
He's kind of under the radar.
Yes,
we've got. I mean, that's
is
the
he
thing
a
about
gambler,
Sean Payton is we
chronic
had
masturbator,
we
sex addict.
We had 16 years with Sean Payton of data, press conferences, insight into his person. He had his
into
freaking
oral
son.
erotic asphyxiation. We don't know what Dennis Allen is into.
Nipples.
We had his freaking son on this
Dennis
podcast.
Allen could like nipple play.
We have nothing with Dennis Allen. Nothing. Dennis Allen did give Sean Payton.
But he's got a vice. Every man has a vice. He
did give Sean. Remember that he gave Peyton the nipple twist after a big play.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That did happen.
I mean, I can't blame them. They're just so enticing. Like as soon as you see, like they're just begging to be twisted. You can't blame them.
Big Papa West likes Puntergate. Daniel Whelan. Anyone?
Yeah, I don't know. Whose name would just go well with Gate? Like, is there like a swinging on the team where there could be like swinging Gate? Is there a rod? Do we have a wrought iron? We have a Joe wrought iron on the team.
Lampgate? You got Forrest Lamp.
Gate.
All right, I guess. I
don't know. You guys got Smoking Gate. There you go. Smoke Gate.
Oh yeah, Monday Gate. We got a Monday Gate.
I don't know. Tell us in the chat if you can think of anything else.
If there is going to be a gate, though, it's probably going to have to do with CD Deuce. It's going to have to do with CD Deuce.
Yeah.
Juice Gate.
Book Gate.
Booking Gate.
Yeah, I don't know.
Next
is that
question.
it? Is that all the questions?
Yeah, that's the last question.
Passigno Gate really doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, it does not. Passignon. It's Passignon.
Roach Gate. Now that one's pretty good.
It's Passignon.
Throckmorton Gate. The Throckmorton sign Gate.
Passignon.
Do we have a clip of the week, Thomas?
No.
No.
Basically, no clips from last.
Because I wasn't on the last episode. That's why I missed last Monday's episode. I didn't give the fans anything good enough to clip. It was probably a boring podcast. Although, you know what? I was upset because Kevin texted all the three of us the story of his neighbor, and I didn't know he was going to talk about it on the podcast. I wasn't going to push him. and I didn't hear what he said on the podcast.
Not only did he bring it up, which I was like hoping he wouldn't.
I was hoping he would, but I didn't want to say, "Hey, you should talk about your this traumatic experience of you discovering your dead neighbor across the street." I didn't want to say that, but I was in my head. I was thinking, but it would be good podcast material, so maybe we should think about talking about it.
He went with that story too. I was like texting Ralph.
I need to go listen to it.
Please make him stop.
For all our new listeners, go back and listen to the last episode of our show.
I guess I wasn't the only one, Andrew.
Because Kevin's going to talk about how he found a dead guy. It's like Stand By Me 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? So he was just all about it? He was like really into it?
You know Kevin. He starts on a story and he just kind of has to give like
late
way
entry
too much
Troutgate.
That's from Mike Bagger, Troutgate.
All right, that's my favorite one. All right, anyway, back to Kevin killing his neighbor.
What?
Well, I don't know. He just wanted a descriptive detail about being on the 911 call and then like giving chest compressions.
This is like therapy for between his love life and him discovering dead people. Like he needs this podcast as an outlet to talk about his feelings.
I'm realizing is unlike us who have friends that we talk to about our problems, Kevin really does not. And so he comes on the show and he spills his personal stuff because like you said, it's therapy for him.
I think honestly, let's keep going. Let's talk about this. Let's keep going with this because I think we're dead on here.
Should we psychoanalyze Kevin?
Well, no, but what I want to say is I think you're dead right. I don't think Kevin has. I don't care if he's listening to this. I hope he does listen to this. I'm concerned for Kevin, and you know what? I'll say this: I know Kevin better than you and Ralph do. Well, I don't know about Ralph because maybe they work together, but like, I mean, I have interacted and hung out with Kevin in person many times.
He's been in that closet.
Visit. He has been in this very closet that I am sitting in right now.
Together. He held your hand,
But no, I don't know. I worry that Kevin doesn't really have that many friends in St. Louis, and not that he needs to be in New Orleans, and not that he needs to be near his family. I don't know if that's the healthiest thing. Yeah, I don't think Kevin needs to be near his family, but I don't know. I just wonder if Kevin would consider moving somewhere else in the country and making a go of it or whatever. I mean, because he moved to St. Louis with his now ex-wife. And he stayed because he kind of had roots, I guess, and he's got a decent job. But I don't know. So I worry for Kevin. I worry for Kevin. I wonder if he
likes the city, man.
I'm not saying he doesn't like this, and he very well may. But I don't know. He's got crazy women breaking into his apartment.
Tara wants to know: is it closet buddies happening or what, Dave?
Oh, I don't know. I gotta get something. Ever since Kevin was here, like whatever the heating cooling system is in this closet has broken. It's broken, and like look at me right now. I'm sweating. You see me?
Changed you forever.
Like my cheek, you can see my cheeks are like glistening. I don't know what's going on, but it's like not on the same thing as my central air. There's a separate thermostat here, but when you move it, nothing happens. I've checked the fuse box. Everything seems to be fine. I don't know what's going on, but it is hot in here. Kevin would need to move back to the New Orleans area for
closet buddies to happen. Well, Senator Houdat says that his cousin worked with Kevin in St. Louis. I don't know if I believe this, but and he said that Kevin was actually a good employee.
Interesting.
I believe that. I think Kevin in his professional life is very responsible and dependable and all that.
I mean, he's missing this podcast to go cover for somebody.
Right. But if they ever found out about his wrestling or this podcast,
no, he's fine.
I don't know how long that yet.
Wrestling.
He calls himself Sean Orleans when he's wrestling for a reason.
Yeah, it doesn't look so great on the LinkedIn page.
No, it does not. But guys, this was the greatest show. No Ralph to mispronounce things and ruin things and mediocre host. Just kidding. We missed you, Ralph.
No, we didn't.
Come back from France.
No, this is fine.
I don't want to do the hosting thing again. I'm not good at this.
I'll do it. Fine, I'll host.
Yeah.
Go. Just you and me.
If you do it next time. All right. Now, thank you for joining the Andrew and Dave show. And
does your dad know anybody in like the embassy or whatever who can get like Ralph's passport revoked before he returns home? So he's just 100%. Stuck in France?
100%.
Let's make that happen.
I told you the ZZ Top story where my mom threw ZZ Top out of the commissary.
Let's make sure Ralph can never return to the United States.
Yes. But for Dave, for Ralph, who's in France, for Tom, like half our show is in Europe now. We got Thomas in Poland, we got Ralph in France. For Kevin, who is covering for someone at work and completely let us down because he's dependable and professionally, but not dependable podcasting wise. I'm Andrew, and remember, kids, you gonna say it, Dave?
Dave went to.
Don't shoot your dick off.
There you go. And for now, the bar is closed.